الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه وأزواجه أجمعين. أما بعد. The Gulf area and Jordan have been the target for retaliation by Iran during the war that was started by Israel, and America was dragged into it. Also, we mentioned before, they have a lot of weapons sitting, and they need to build more weapons. So the military industrial system here, the largest company in the world by far, they're far more influencers of what happens with regards to war against other countries than the Jews, far bigger. So they can't stagnate. I mean, you need to understand their point of view. They can't stagnate and not have war where they can use the weapons and then quickly say, we ran out of munitions, and in the meantime, we can kill, especially the favorite target, the Muslims. Venezuela, Cuba, just on the side. The main target, favorite one, are the Muslims. So they need to keep building weapons. I mean, you have to understand, don't be a miser. So they're asking for $70 more billion worth of weapons. That's 70 billion. More than 10% of what the entire state of Israel earns in a year. So you understand the numbers. Iran is retaliating against the Gulf area, claiming that whatever, because they have US bases there. Even though those countries in the Gulf, they banned American Air Force, for example, to attack Iran from their land. They did. They banned them. But they have the bases there. We'll talk about the reason that they give for having the bases later. But Iran sees them Sunnis. They have American bases there. America and Israel are attacking us, so we attack them, and Jordan. So let's talk about one country at a time, from the southeast, whatever, going northwest, I think. Even though these days, who knows, except Allah. Oman has been ruled for hundreds of years now, more than 200 years, by the Khawarij, the Ibadis. They're not Sunni. The majority of the population is Sunni, but the Ibadis have been controlling everything in Oman. And I mentioned before, I can't recall any incident where the Shia, especially the Ja'faris, who control Iraq and Iran, who are Hezbollah, who are the Houthis, these days, and it used to be Syria, that the Ja'faris, the Shia, cooperate with the Khawarij. This has to be some kind of bid'ah. So they're fighting each other all the time throughout history. But the main target for the Khawarij has always been, still is, the Sunnis. The Shia, who came really a few years after the Khawarij, as the scholar Ibn Taymiyyah mentioned, was the first sect, deviant sect, to appear in Islam. And the first ruler they disputed with was Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the Prophet of Islam. And the first issue they disputed with Muhammad about is money. Then the Shia came, and the Shia, it's an established religion like the Khawarij. They have ideas, they have practices, they have leaders. And in the case of the Shia, a lot more leaders and a lot more books. But they have their own system, and the Shia is, by definition, a sect that is in opposition to the Sunnis. So you have the Gulf area majority Sunnis. Let me put it in better words. So-called Sunnis in the Gulf area. And that's the favorite target for the Khawarij and the Shia. But for the Shia and the Khawarij to cooperate, I've read history very extensively, walillah alhamd. Of course, I missed some things here and there, but I have never heard of Khawarij and Shia cooperate. In this case, the cooperation is against their favorite target, the Sunnis. So Oman did not involve itself in much of what's going on from Palestine to other areas or whatever. The only thing they did is, even though they never fought the Jews, they signed the Abrahamic Accords for some reason. You can't have a peace pact with somebody you never fought against. So Oman, when the war in Yemen, it is a war, okay, started, Houthis against the Sunnis. By the way, the Zaydis, Houthis used to be Zaydis, they became Ja'faris. The Zaydis are a different kind of sect than the Ja'faris. They used to be better, but just to let you know, so the majority among the Shia in Yemen is Zaydi. Minority, Houthis. Sunnis, for the entire country of Yemen, they are the majority, simple majority. So the war against the Houthis started by the Gulf countries, including Oman. Oman did not fight the Houthis. They actually allowed Iran to smuggle weapons to the Houthis. Don't try to explain. If you need a break, go get some coffee or something, or Tylenol, not PM. But so this is the situation. So Oman doesn't have a dispute with the Iranians. In fact, they both agree on having the Sunnis as their enemies. It's history. No modern day commoner who may not be able to read Al-Fatiha correctly is allowed to make a decision about if this is accurate or not. Read the history. Oman. The Emirates have lots of Shia, especially in Dubai. I've seen the entire buildings. This is a building that belongs to the Ja'fari Awqaf. Those, they call them like charity buildings and other stuff, but it's actually to support the mullahs in some ways. It's a Ja'fari system, Awqaf. So, and they allow them, those who are so-called muwatinun, who are Shia, mainly Iranian Shia, and some Iranian Sunnis, our brothers and sisters, but Iranian Shia, they have a lot of money in the Emirates. So the Emirates, they have a dispute about the 3 islands with Iran, but they can't do anything about it because they can't do anything. Just keep talking about it every year, United Nations, whatever. They can't do anything about it because Iran occupied those 3 islands. They don't really have a dispute with the Iranian government. They allowed the Shia to thrive in the Emirates, but they have American bases. Also, they signed the Abrahamic Accords. That's another bid'ah. Oman and the Emirates. They signed a peace accord, in essence, with a country they never fought. That has to be a new bid'ah. So they signed the Abrahamic Accords. So Iran is hitting Oman, hitting the Emirates. Bahrain, we can understand. Bahrain has a majority of Shia, has been controlled by the Sunnis. And they have the 5th Fleet, the base. So it is a favorite target in different ways for the Iranians. Qatar is even stranger. Qatar has been promoting the Shia and their ideas and their revolutions and the Islamist revolutions, and here they were promoting the Shia regimes and ideology even, and they're friendly. They supported Iran many times, stood by Iran. In fact, I almost can see that man, foreign minister of Qatar, who looks like he just came out from the desert, having parked his camel outside the UN. وإيران دولة مباركة. Iran is a blessed country. How blessed? The Shia have been promoting their religion, especially through Jazeera, and their ideologies and everything, through the satellites. And Qatar has been friendly to them, supporting them, promoting them, stood by them, gave them money. Yeah, of course, they gave the $400 million plane to Trump too, but they've been friendly with Iran. But Iran hit them. Qatar. Saudi is the favorite target for Iran. So I'm not going to spend time on that. And I'm happy that the leadership in Saudi pledged not to sign the Abrahamic Accords unless the Palestinians have their rights. So please stay on this, because you can't trust people. I mean, you can't trust the Jews, number one. You can't trust the Shia also. Them attacking them Wahhabis. To the commoners, they think that they're talking about Wahhabis. There is no Wahhabis anyway, but them Wahhabis. But to the Shia, the Sunnis are Wahhabis. So they're hitting them. American bases there. Okay? And I hope the government there does not sign. Who are you going to trust? The signature of Netanyahu or the next prime minister, because if he doesn't win, he's going to jail, him and his wife. And this is one of the most ridiculous things that the Jews of Israel have been accusing Netanyahu of corruption. Redundant, isn't it? So attacking Saudi, I can understand. Kuwait, actually, I'm surprised. Yeah, they have American base there, but no thanks to Saddam Hussein, they didn't have those before. Saddam Hussein, instead of attacking the Jews, he went into Kuwait to thank them for their support for the war he started against the Shia. Did you get your coffee? Okay. Maybe you need another cup because this is in Arabic junun, madness. Madness. So Kuwait has no issues with Iran. They allowed the Shia to even thrive. They have a lot of money there. Maybe 20% of the Kuwaitis are Shia, mainly from Iran and some from Iraq. Kuwait doesn't have a dispute with anybody, with any country actually at all, except that time when they had issues with Iraq, when they were invaded by Saddam Hussein, and they are thinking that to ensure that nobody again comes from that side, they have the American base. This is the at least the popular theme about what's going on. But Kuwait doesn't have a problem with Iran or anybody else. And they always stood by the Palestinians. I have to say this. Really. When I was growing up in Kuwait, I was born there. Until I finished high school, I was in Kuwait. I came to realize a few things. Number one, the Arabs don't want to fight the Jews. Did you hear it? Number one, the Arabs do not want to fight the Yahud. Number two, they were even cutting a part of the salaries of the Palestinians. We were in the hundreds of thousands before Saddam came. And they were cutting the salary. Before you get your salary, a part of it goes to the Palestinian cause. And they always said they will never sign anything with the Jews until the Palestinians get their rights. And they have always said, they even said, if we were the last Arab country, we will not sign. So for the Abrahamic Accords, for anything, I'm talking again about Saudi. Abrahamic Accords for Kuwait, no way. Alhamdulillah. The people there will not allow it, and the leadership actually has a pro-Palestinian stance. I forgot something when I was growing up in Kuwait. The Shia were not allowed to do their weeping and, hitting themselves on the face, whatever, they were not allowed to do this in public in Kuwait. They still are not allowed, but now they have many more freedoms. I've heard it when I was there. Ashura, and they're weeping for Hussein and this and that, and saying bad things about the wives of the Prophet indirectly. Okay? So that's the third thing. Going back to Saudi, are you going to trust the signature of Netanyahu or the next prime minister, or the signature of Trump? That signature. You gonna trust it? They agreed on a deal with Saudi for nuclear reactors, I'm thinking, because it's basic. in Saudi for civilian use, of course, Within 24 hours, you signed, everything is fine. The Jew said, hey, you forgot about us. So he comes and says, I will not do anything until Saudi signs the Abrahamic Accords. So you want to trust this, Trump? Eh? As they say here, good luck. There is no luck. It's always qadar. Anyway, Jordan, Jordan doesn't have a dispute with Iran, period, or the Shia. From the history that I can't remember a time when Iran had a dispute with Urdun, Jordan. Yes, they have a presence of Americans in Jordan, but they did not fight Iran. It's ridiculous, the whole idea. And they're attacking Jordan. Okay, my name is Jalal Abualrub, Jalal Abualrub, Jalal Abualrub, not Arrub'a, Arrub, Ba at the end. I am from Palestine, the West Bank, the city of Jenin, and since October 7, we lost dozens of the members of my family in the West Bank who are not Hamas. Our website is islamlife.com, islamlife.com. There you will see a number of our books, such as these sitting next to me here on the website. We have a charity organization. If you buy these books for benefit, the money goes to our charity organization. We're allowed to collect zakatul mal because we are defending Islam. And I am one Salafi who will not sell his soul to any tyrant. Bi'idhnillah. So, you want to give us gifts? Why don't you do that? Okay? Jordan doesn't have dispute with any Arab country. I'm thinking most Arabs actually can go to Jordan without a visa if they wish to go that way. And as for the Shia, I've seen it with my own eyes. Yeah, these ones. Huge buses having Shia pilgrims to some grave sites of some people, forgot which one. So the Jordanians are allowing them to go there, They're not going there for the sake of Allah. They're going there for the sake of shirk. So they can invoke dead people, do some weeping. So they allowed them busloads, huge buses. I've never seen such big buses, actually. And I travel a lot. So they were allowed to come and weep and whatever. Sufis are weeping too there. So they're acting, Jordanians, we're not against anybody, we're with everybody, including with the Jews. They signed the peace deal with the Jews. And Arafat did, just in case you want to say, these people. Yeah, Arafat also did, the PLO. They did that. And Egypt. They're going after Lebanon now, Allah knows. Jordan is already in for a long time, 1994 until today. You remember today that they signed and they have peace arrangements, military arrangements with the Americans. The Americans are paying them a lot of money every year. And they have the largest FBI base in the Middle East, so-called Middle East. So many so-calls today. Well, anyway, the largest FBI base. The embassy of the United States of America in Jordan is so huge, really. So, did that make Iran angry that they have an embassy? Everybody had embassy. for America, the FBI, wherever there is an embassy of any kind for any country, they have a section for, again, so-called intelligence. Yeah, those dumb people who use resources to spy on others and they think they're very smart. Well, bring anybody from somewhere where they didn't even know about much of anything, train them, and they will start spying on you too. So they were hitting US bases in Jordan. Jordan is nice with everybody in public. They don't have disputes with anybody. Why attack Jordan and Kuwait? Oman, they supported you. Remember, Houthis? Qatar, they supported you all the way. So why are you hitting people who look like at least neutral? Why? So they're saying we're hitting American bases in Jordan. I have read the official release by some Jordanian minister of something. He says, we do not have American bases in Jordan. But the announcement in the world is that some American equipment, some American people were hit in Jordan, 3 died, and others were wounded. So at least you have those that were hit by the Iranians based there. So the official news was they don't have like a base for themselves. They are using our bases to do whatever it is. What's missing that we have, those American advisors and others, to advisors, military trainers, whatever. It was missing from the statement that they're helping us for the sake of Allah, because they don't believe in Allah or in God or in Jesus. But anyway, 3 were killed, and the Iranians insist you have an American base, because those soldiers that he's talking about, the trainers, the advisors, military equipment, such as spying on everyone all around, where are they based? In Jordan. So whether they have a separate building or using the buildings of the Jordanian military buildings and services, whatever, they're still based there. So they're saying we don't have a base there. Well, don't tell me, don't tell other people, tell the Iranians, tell them, hey, we don't have bases here. Because the Iranians would tell them, call us after the next missiles. Jordan is filled with Palestinians. And Iran, death to America, death to Israel. Israel brought death to the Palestinians. Why are you raining missiles on that area? I mean, is it that big and important for you to hit those bases in Jordan? Leave the Muslims alone, ya Shia, ya Ja'faris. Leave the Muslims alone. Jordan, Kuwait, even Oman and Qatar, they don't have a military dispute with Iran, but they're hitting them to tell them, hey, look what's happening to you, and you have all this American military presence. Get rid of them. And those Arabs saying that, yeah, with all this military presence, American presence here, you're doing this to us. If we get rid of them, what are you going to do? The Iranians might, as somebody in Iran suggested, just walk from Iraq, the Shia, just walk towards Kuwait and everything is done. No, thank you. We don't want you there. Also, those countries in the Gulf and Jordan come together, work for the sake of Allah, for Islam, the real Islam. Practice it together. Because you know, those Shia, they have no claim about the Gulf except that they're Sunnis and they want to control those areas. And it's all madness. So if you take it from here, it's there. That, this, and this, and that, and so many because or what about. So why attacking Jordan? Leave the Jordanians alone. Those Palestinians there and Jordanians, our brothers and sisters, they're masakin. Isn't it enough they have a terrible economy? You're hitting them with missiles too? Yeah. Death to America, death to Israel. And you haven't actually brought death to America or to Israel, only to the Arabs and Muslims. Iran is responsible for the death, the violent death of hundreds of thousands of Muslims in just this century. Ya Muslims. Ya Muslims. Let me say it in Angalizi. Ya Muslims. Wake up. For the sake of Allah. This is not good for you or for anybody, especially the government. Don't give the Shia, mullahs, religious leaders any slack. Shia people want to live and earn rizq, let them. We have not. But for the leadership that has all this mad religion, Ja'fari religion, it's not Islam. Don't give them any slack. And they will keep pushing and pushing and pushing, those mullahs and the revolutionary guards. They're crazy. Hey, we only have 3 enemies. Let's make them 10. And they're even threatening Turkey and threatening Britain. Really? With what? With what? Because the taste you got from the Jews and Americans hitting 15,000 targets in Iran just this year, that belongs to the Muslims of Iran, not to the mullahs. They don't care. You invite everybody, what's left? You can't even fight Afghanistan. Okay, let me remind you, a few years ago, they had some problems with the Taliban. So they said, we're sending 200,000 of our Iranian soldiers into Afghanistan, for what? To support and defend, protect the Shia. And the Taliban said, okay, send them in. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. Jordanian government, don't tell us. Tell Iran you don't have a base, American base there. And you need to stop this, not promoting, appeasing the Shia. Because you see, they have no loyalty to anything or anyone. Period. Now they remember there is Hezbollah. When they were attacked, Iran, they're shooting everything. Then they remember, what about Hezbollah? They have no loyalty even to each other. So you need to work hard on stopping these Shia and their religion and their practices and their books. Because this is an alien religion with the emphasis on taking over the Sunni areas, bringing back the Kisra empire. As the Shia are not Muslims. They're not. I'm not talking about every Shia. I'm talking about those who believe in the Shia religion. They're not Muslim. There are many people who don't like it, they don't want it, they don't understand it, whatever. They're opposed to it. We're not talking about everybody, but this is a general statement that the Shia religion is kufr. Those who believe in it are kuffar too. And the Muslims seek help from Allah. All these soldiers and all this equipment and bases, you have American pesos, bases. But look at the protection you got out of them. Not much. And protection, this word those Arab countries are using, in no way it's a protection against the Jews. If they decide to hit all of these areas, who's going to stop them? Trump, with a tweet at 3 a.m. in the morning, Jews stop, what about my pool and the hall for dancing and this, look at my hair and this and that and that and this. Oh Allah, help us.